I woke up in a wedding dress I'd never seen before. White silk, designer label, a massive diamond ring cutting into my finger like a warning. My head felt like someone had taken a hammer to it. The room spun when I tried to sit up. Floor-to-ceiling windows, morning sun stabbing through glass, silk sheets that probably cost more than my car. This wasn't my apartment. This wasn't anywhere I recognized. And I was wearing a wedding dress. My heart slammed against my ribs. I grabbed at the ring, trying to pull it off, but my hands were shaking too hard. Think, Isla. Think. What's the last thing you remember? The casino. Damien Volkov's underground casino. I'd been working this investigation for 2 years, and I'd finally gotten an invitation to his private tables. The place where deals got made and secrets got traded. I remembered champagne, someone handing me a glass. The bubbles tasted wrong, but I drank it anyway because I needed to blend in. After that, nothing. Complete blank. I forced myself to stand, fighting the nausea. My bare feet hit cold marble, the kind of floor that screamed money and power. Rose petals scattered across it, leading to the bedroom door. My chest tightened. This couldn't be real. This had to be some kind of setup. Some kind of... I saw the framed document on the marble counter. Marriage certificate. My name. Another name. Damien Volkov. Yesterday's date. 2 witness signatures I didn't recognize. Official seal from the county clerk. Legal. Binding. Real. No. The word came out like a gasp. No, no, no! I stumbled through the penthouse, desperate for an exit. Desperate for this to be a nightmare. More rose petals. Empty champagne bottles. A tie draped over a chair. Evidence of a celebration I couldn't remember. 2 years. I'd spent 2 years carefully building my cover, getting close to Volkov's organization, gathering evidence. I was a journalist, not whatever this was. I didn't get drunk at casinos. I didn't black out. I definitely didn't marry the crime boss I was investigating. But that ring on my finger said otherwise. The sound of a door opening made me freeze. He walked in like he owned the place. Because he did. Damien Volkov, 6 feet of controlled power, dark hair, darker eyes, wearing a perfectly tailored suit like it was just another morning. He carried 2 coffee cups, his expression calm. Too calm. You're awake. His voice was smooth, almost gentle. I thought you might sleep longer. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. What did you do to me? He set the coffee cups down on the counter, his movements careful and deliberate. I didn't do anything, Isla. You did plenty on your own last night. I don't remember. I know. Something flickered across his face. Sympathy, regret. It was gone before I could identify it. Someone spiked your champagne at the casino, not me. But by the time I realized what was happening, you were already... He paused, making some interesting decisions. My legs felt weak. I grabbed the counter for support. You're lying. Am I? He pulled out his phone, tapped the screen, and turned it toward me. Video footage. Me, laughing, stumbling in heels, dragging him toward what looked like a private chapel. Me, slurring words that sounded like vows. Me, kissing him, while someone clapped in the background. I was going to be sick. Turn it off. My voice cracked. Just turn it off. He pocketed the phone. You proposed, actually. Very insistent about it. Said you'd been watching me for months and were tired of waiting. Heat flooded my face. I was drugged. I know. His tone shifted, harder now. Which is why I'm currently hunting down whoever did it. But the marriage? He gestured to the certificate. That's legal, witnessed, filed. As of midnight last night, you're Mrs. Volkov. The room tilted. This couldn't be happening. This was career suicide, life suicide. We're getting an annulment. Right now. No. That one word hit like a physical blow. Excuse me? Damien moved closer, and I forced myself not to back away. Sit down, Isla. We need to talk. I'm not sitting anywhere with you. He slid a folder across the counter. My stomach dropped. My real name, My actual credentials, not the fake identity I'd been using. Screenshots of emails to my editor, surveillance photos of me at crime scenes, at interviews, at places I'd thought were secret. 2 years of careful work, exposed in a dozen printed pages. "I've known who you are since day one," Damien said quietly. "Isla Brennan, investigative journalist, 28 years old, won 2 regional awards for your exposé on city corruption, applied for press credentials to cover organized crime, got denied, decided to go undercover anyway." My throat closed. I know about your apartment in the East District, your brother Dylan at State College, your editor Marcus who thinks you're in too deep. I know what you eat for breakfast and what time you go running." His eyes locked on mine. "I've known everything, Isla, and I let you keep playing detective because it was useful." Rage burned through the fear. "You used me. We used each other. You wanted a story. He stopped himself. "I needed a wife." "What?" "My father's will. I have 30 days from his death to marry, or the family inheritance goes to my cousin Nero." He said it like he was discussing the weather. "We're on day 28. I stared at him. "So you drugged me and forced me into—" "I didn't drug you." Steel crept into his voice. "Someone at that casino tried to hurt you, and I stopped it from getting worse. But yes, when you insisted on getting married, when you literally dragged me to a chapel and demanded a ceremony, I made a choice. I said yes. You took advantage. I saved your life." He leaned against the counter, and for the first time, I saw exhaustion in his face. "Whoever drugged you wasn't trying to make you suggestible. They were trying to kill you. That dose should have stopped your heart. But you metabolize medication differently. I had my doctors check your blood work this morning. You survived because your body processed it faster than expected." My hands were shaking again. "Why would anyone want to kill me?" "Because someone found out what you really are. And in my world, journalists digging into family business don't live long." His jaw tightened. "As my wife, you're untouchable. Kill you, and the entire Volkov family would demand blood. It's the only thing keeping you alive right now." I wanted to call him a liar. Wanted to grab my phone and call the police. Call Marcus. Call anyone who could fix this nightmare. But I couldn't find my phone. And deep down, beneath the panic and rage, a small voice whispered that he might be telling the truth. "What do you want from me?" The question came out smaller than I intended. Damien straightened, buttoning his suit jacket. "Right now, I want you to drink your coffee and eat something. Then I want you to put on the dress in the bedroom closet. We have a wedding reception tonight." "A what?" "My family expects to meet you. Smile, play the devoted wife, and maybe you'll survive long enough to figure out what's really going on here." He walked toward the door, then paused. "Oh, and Isla, don't try to run. I have security on every exit, not to keep you prisoner, to keep you breathing." The door closed behind him with a soft click. I stood alone in the penthouse, wearing a wedding dress I didn't remember putting on, married to a man I'd been trying to destroy. And somewhere out there, someone wanted me dead. The dress Damien chose for me was blood red. I found it hanging in his walk-in closet. Designer label, probably cost more than I made in 6 months. A note pinned to the hanger. "Wear this. They need to see you as mine." My hands clenched around the fabric. Every instinct screamed to rip it apart, to find my real clothes and run. But Damien's words kept echoing. Someone wanted me dead. And as much as I hated admitting it, being Mrs. Volkov might be the only thing keeping a target off my back. I showered, trying to wash away the feeling of being trapped. The hot water didn't help. Neither did the expensive soaps, or the soft towels, or any of the luxury surrounding me. This was a gilded cage, and I needed to find a way out. But first, I needed to survive tonight. The dress fit like it was made for me. Probably was. Damien seemed to know everything else about my life. I stared at my reflection, barely recognizing the woman looking back. The dress hugged every curve, the neckline just low enough to be dangerous. I looked like I belonged in his world. That terrified me more than anything. Damien knocked once before entering. His eyes traveled over me, and something flickered in his expression. Perfect. I'm not doing this for you, I said. I'm doing it because apparently someone wants to murder me. Fair enough. He held out his arm. Ready to meet the family? Not even close. Good. Fear keeps you sharp. He guided me toward the door. Remember, you're madly in love with me. We couldn't wait another day to get married. Anyone asks about your background, you're a consultant I met at a charity event. And if they don't believe me? His jaw tightened. Then smile harder. The elevator ride down felt like descending into hell. My heart hammered against my ribs. 3 floors below the penthouse, the doors opened onto something out of a nightmare. The reception hall was massive. Vaulted ceilings, crystal chandeliers, marble everything. But it was the people that made my blood run cold. Dozens of them, all dressed in expensive suits and designer gowns, all watching me like wolves watching prey. These were the most dangerous people in the city. I'd spent 2 years researching them, documenting their crimes, building cases against them. And now I was walking into their den wearing red silk and a fake smile. Damien's hand found the small of my back. Breathe, Isla. I couldn't, but I forced myself to move forward anyway. A woman approached first, silver hair pulled back severely, diamonds at her throat, eyes like chips of ice. She examined me the way someone might examine a piece of furniture they were considering buying. Mother, Damien said. This is Isla, my wife. Katrin Volkov's expression didn't change. How unexpected. You never mentioned you were seeing anyone. It was fast. I found my voice somehow. When you know, you know. Indeed. Her gaze swept over me again. What did you say your family does, dear? Every word felt like a test. My parents passed away when I was young. It's just me and my brother now. How tragic. But she didn't sound sympathetic. She sounded calculating. And you met my son where? A charity event. She's lying. The voice came from behind us. I turned to see a man who could have been Damien's brother. Same height, same build, but with something cruel in his smile. He was handsome in a dangerous way, like a knife disguised as jewelry. Nero Volkov. I recognized him from my research. Damien's cousin, second in line for the family empire, until now. Nero. Damien's voice went cold. Didn't expect you here. Wouldn't miss my favorite cousin's wedding reception. Nero moved closer, that smile never reaching his eyes. Though I have to say, this is all very sudden, almost suspicious. My throat tightened. Nothing suspicious about falling in love. Of course not. He took my hand, kissing it slowly. His lips lingered too long, his eyes locked on mine with an intensity that made my skin crawl. You're either very brave or very stupid, journalist. I haven't decided which yet. The floor dropped out from under me. He knew. Damien's hand tightened on my waist, a warning. But Nero just laughed, releasing my hand. Relax, cousin. I'm not going to expose your little secret. Yet. He leaned closer to me, his breath hot against my ear. You're either very brave or very stupid, Isla Brennan. My cousin collects broken things. How long before you join the collection? He walked away before I could respond, disappearing into the crowd. He knows, I whispered. Damien, he knows who I am. I heard. His jaw was tight enough to shatter. Stay close to me. Don't leave my sight. The rest of the reception passed in a blur of introductions and threats disguised as pleasantries. Damien's Uncle Gregor, who reeked of vodka and violence, business associates with cold eyes and expensive watches, women who looked at me like I'd stolen something that belonged to them. Every conversation felt like walking a tightrope. Every smile felt like showing my throat to predators. I was trying to remember the name of a particularly hostile aunt when the screaming started. Security rushed toward the entrance. Guests backed away from something I couldn't see. Damien pulled me behind him, his hand moving to his jacket, to a gun I hadn't realized he was carrying. What's happening? My voice shook. Stay behind me. Two of Damien's men carried in a massive floral arrangement. Roses, lilies, orchids, probably cost thousands. Beautiful, except for what was hidden in the center. A severed finger. Someone near me gasped. Another woman fainted. I forced myself to look closer, my journalist instincts overriding my horror. There was something wrapped around the finger. Paper. My stomach turned when I recognized it. My press credentials, the ones I kept hidden in my apartment, locked in a safe no one should have been able to access. A note was pinned to the arrangement. "We know what you are." The room erupted, voices shouting, accusations flying. Damien's men moved to secure the exits while others checked for threats. Katrin was demanding answers. Nero stood in the corner, watching everything with that same cruel smile. Damien grabbed my arm. "Come with me. Now." He pulled me through a side door, down a hallway I hadn't seen before. My mind was racing. Someone had been in my apartment. Someone had gone through my things. Someone knew exactly what I was and decided to announce it to an entire room full of criminals. We reached a private office. Damien locked the door behind us, then turned to face me. For the first time since I'd met him, I saw something other than control in his expression. He looked afraid. "Talk," I demanded. "Right now. No more games." He paced to his desk, poured 2 drinks with shaking hands. "I didn't marry you to hurt you." "That's not an answer." "I married you because it's the only way to keep you alive." He downed his drink in one swallow. "And because I need access to my father's legitimate business empire, the inheritance. Without it, Nero gets everything." "So this is about money." "It's about stopping a war." His voice cracked. "Nero doesn't just want the family business. He wants to expand it. He's planning hits on 3 rival families. If he succeeds, the city drowns in blood. Thousands of people die. And I'm the only one who can stop him. But only if I have the resources that inheritance provides." I stared at him. "You're telling me this marriage is what? A business deal to prevent mass murder?" "It's survival, for both of us." He moved closer, and I saw exhaustion carved into his face. "Nero knows who you are now. That finger? That's a message. You're a target. But as my wife, you're protected by family law. Kill you, and he starts a blood feud he can't win." My mind reeled. This is insane. This is the only play I have left. He pulled out a photo from his desk drawer. A young girl, maybe 16, with dark hair and bright eyes. She was laughing in the picture, arm around Damien's shoulders. Her name was Elena, my sister. Was. What happened to her? His hands clenched around the photo frame. Nero killed her 3 years ago. Made it look like I did it. Made the whole family believe I murdered my own sister in some power play. His voice went hollow. I've spent every day since trying to prove my innocence and gather enough evidence to destroy him. But I need that inheritance to do it. I need... An explosion shook the building. The lights flickered. Alarms started screaming. Gunfire echoed from somewhere below us. Damien moved to his desk, pulled out a weapon, checked the magazine. "They're here." "Who?" "Nero's men." He grabbed a second gun, held it out to me. "Do you know how to use this?" I'd taken a firearms course for a story on gun violence, hated every second, but I took the weapon anyway. "Basic." "That'll have to be enough." He moved toward the door, then stopped. "If we get separated, don't trust anyone, not even people who claim to be helping you." The door burst open before I could respond. But it wasn't Nero's men. It was Marcus, my editor, flanked by 2 armed operatives I didn't recognize. "Isla!" Relief flooded his face. "Thank God! We're extracting you. This psychopath can't keep you prisoner." I looked at Marcus, my mentor, the man who'd given me my first real assignment, who'd supported my career for 5 years. Then I looked at Damien, this man I'd married while drugged, this crime boss who claimed he was trying to save lives, this stranger who somehow felt less like a stranger every second. Marcus held out his hand. "Come on, we're getting you out of here." Damien's voice was quiet, desperate. If you leave with them now, Nero wins. Everything burns. Please. The gunfire was getting closer. The alarms were deafening, and I had maybe 5 seconds to make a choice that would determine if I lived or died. Trust the man I'd known for years, or trust the man I'd married last night? My hand tightened on the gun. I'm staying. Marcus's face went white. What? I said I'm staying. I moved closer to Damien. There's more going on here than you understand. Isla, he's manipulating you. Maybe. My voice was steadier than I felt. But right now, he's the only thing standing between me and whoever sent that finger. So yeah, I'm staying. The look Marcus gave me felt like betrayal and disappointment and something else I couldn't name. You're making a mistake. Probably. I met his eyes. But it's my mistake to make. Marcus stared at me for another long moment. Then he nodded to his men. Fall back. Let her make her own choices. They disappeared into the chaos of alarms and shouting. The door closed, leaving me alone with Damien. He was looking at me like I'd just done something impossible. Why did you stay? He asked quietly. I didn't have a good answer. Didn't have any answer that made sense. So I just said the truth. Because I need to know if you're lying, and I can't figure that out if I'm running. Something shifted in his expression. Relief? Gratitude? Maybe something else. Come on. He moved toward a panel in the wall I hadn't noticed. There's a safe room. We wait out the attack there, then we figure out our next move. And then? Then we find out who's trying to kill you. His jaw set with determination, and we make them regret it. Who do you think is trying to kill Isla? Drop your guesses in the comments, and if this story has you on the edge of your seat, don't forget to like and subscribe to join our family. The safe room was exactly what it sounded like. Reinforced steel walls, no windows, enough supplies to survive a siege. Damien locked us in while explosions still rattled the building above. I pressed my back against the cold wall, trying to slow my breathing. My editor had just watched me choose a crime boss over rescue. Someone had sent a severed finger with my credentials attached, and I was locked in a bunker with a man who claimed he married me to prevent a war. Nothing about this made sense. Drink this. Damien handed me water. You're in shock. I'm fine. You're shaking. I was. My hands trembled so badly the bottle nearly slipped. I forced myself to take a sip, forced myself to think like a journalist instead of a victim. Who attacked us? Nero's people, testing our defenses, sending a message. He pulled off his jacket, loosened his tie. For the first time, I saw him look genuinely rattled. He knows you're not just some random woman I married. He's going to use that. How did he find out? Same way he finds out everything. He has people everywhere. Police, government, even in my own organization. Damien pulled out his phone, made 3 calls in rapid succession, giving orders, checking casualties, organizing responses. He sounded like a general commanding troops. When he finished, he turned back to me. Your brother. Where is he right now? My blood went cold. Why? Because if Nero knows about you, he knows about Dylan. I need to get him somewhere safe. Tonight. He's at State College. Dorm. Room 314 in... I know where. Of course he did. I'm sending my best people. They'll extract him quietly, take him to a secure location. He won't even know why until this is over. Part of me wanted to argue. The bigger part knew he was right. If anything happens to him, it won't. The certainty in his voice was almost convincing. I protect what's mine, and like it or not, your family is mine now. The possessiveness should have made me angry. Instead, it made something in my chest tighten. Why are you doing this? Really? Don't give me the line about the inheritance. What's the real reason? Damien was quiet for a long moment. Then he moved to a locked cabinet, pulled out a folder thick with documents. He dropped it on the table between us. This is why. I opened it. My hands stopped shaking as journalist mode kicked in. Crime scene photos, autopsy reports, financial records, witness statements that had been suppressed or altered. Evidence of corruption so deep it made my 2 years of investigation look like scratching the surface. And at the center of it all, Nero Volkov. Human trafficking. My voice came out hollow. He's running trafficking rings through the family's shipping companies. For 7 years. Damien's jaw was tight. Children, mostly. Girls between 12 and 16. Ships them overseas, sells them to the highest bidder. I felt sick. Your family knows? Some of them suspect. Most look the other way because Nero makes them too much money. My father knew. That's why he was going to cut Nero out of the inheritance completely. He pulled out another document. This is my father's original will, written 3 weeks before he died. Everything goes to me, nothing to Nero. What happened? Nero poisoned him. The words came out flat, emotionless. Slowly, over months, made it look like natural decline. By the time my father realized what was happening, he was too weak to fight back. But he managed to change his will one last time. Added the marriage clause. Made it so I'd have to find someone, settle down, prove I was stable enough to handle the empire. He was protecting you. He was testing me, seeing if I was capable of something other than violence and revenge. Damien's voice cracked slightly. Seeing if I could still be human after everything Nero took from me. I turned pages, my mind racing. This wasn't just about money or power. This was about stopping a monster who'd been operating in plain sight for years. Then I found a specific file. Elena Volkov. Age 16. Cause of death listed as suicide. No. I looked up at Damien. This wasn't suicide. I know. He pulled out his phone, showed me a video. This was her last message to me, sent 2 hours before she died. I pressed play. A young girl appeared on screen, pretty, scared, whispering urgently. Damien, if you're seeing this, something happened to me. I found proof. Nero's been using Dad's shipping routes for selling people. Kids my age. I copied everything, hid it where only you can find it. He knows I know. He's going to... The video cut to screaming. Then nothing. My eyes burned. Where's the proof she mentioned? Still hidden. She used a code only the two of us knew, but I haven't been able to figure out where she put it. His hands clenched. I've spent 3 years searching. 3 years gathering my own evidence. 3 years building a case strong enough to destroy Nero and everyone protecting him. But you need the inheritance to do it. I need the resources. The legitimate businesses give me access to records, shipping manifests, financial accounts. Without them, Nero controls everything. And with that control, he'll expand his operation. He's already planning to hit 3 rival families, take over their territories. If he succeeds, hundreds die, maybe thousands, and his trafficking operation grows exponentially. I sat back, processing. This was bigger than I'd imagined. Darker, more complex. Why not go to the police? The FBI? Damien pulled out another folder. Photos of police chiefs, federal prosecutors, judges, all with documented payments from Nero. He owns them. Not all of them, but enough. Try to build a case through official channels and it gets buried. Witnesses disappear. Evidence gets lost. That's why I've been playing the part of loyal family member. Getting close enough to gather information he can't hide from me. You're undercover in your own family. I'm a dead man pretending to be a monster so I can stop a real one. He met my eyes. And then you showed up, asking questions, digging into things you shouldn't. I knew you'd get yourself killed if I didn't intervene, so I watched you, kept you safe without you knowing, made sure you didn't stumble into something that would get you disappeared. My throat tightened. The mugging that didn't happen last year, that was you? You were getting too close to one of Nero's lieutenants. He was planning to make you vanish. Damien's voice was matter-of-fact. I made it look like a failed robbery instead. Scared you enough to back off for a few weeks. The source who stopped returning my calls? I paid him to relocate. He had information that would have made you Nero's primary target. I stared at him. You've been manipulating my entire investigation. I've been keeping you alive. He leaned forward. And now you're legally protected as my wife. Nero can't touch you without starting a war he'll lose. Your brother will be safe. You have access to information I've spent years gathering. So here's what I'm proposing. Work with me. Use your investigative skills. Help me find Elena's evidence and build a case so airtight that even Nero's corrupted officials can't bury it. And then what? Then we expose everything, publicly, so completely that the entire system has to respond. We destroy Nero and everyone protecting him. It was insane. Dangerous. Probably suicidal. It was also the biggest story of my career. I have conditions, I said slowly. Name them. Full access to your files. No more secrets. No more manipulation. Agreed. I publish this story when it's done. My byline, my investigation. As long as you wait until Nero's arrested, fine. And if we survive this, I met his eyes. We annul the marriage. I get my life back. Something flickered across his face. Hurt? Disappointment? It was gone too fast to read. If that's what you want, he said quietly. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I nearly ignored it, then saw the preview of the message. A video attachment. My hands shook as I opened it. The video showed Dylan leaving his dorm, backpack over his shoulder, completely unaware of the camera following him. The message below made my blood freeze. Pretty boy. Would be a shame if something happened to him. Call off your investigation, or we start mailing him back to you in pieces. The phone slipped from my hands. Damien caught it, saw the message, and his expression turned murderous. When was this sent? 2 minutes ago. My voice didn't sound like mine. They're watching him right now. Damien was already dialing. Cade, extraction is compromised. They're on the target. Get there now. I don't care if you have to shoot through campus security. Get my brother-in-law out. Brother-in-law? The words should have sounded wrong. They didn't. How long? I whispered. My people are 15 minutes out, but Isla... He gripped my shoulders, forced me to look at him. They sent this to scare you. If they wanted Dylan dead, they wouldn't warn you first. This is psychological warfare. You don't know that. Yes, I do, because it's exactly what I do. His voice was firm, grounding. Nero wants you terrified, wants you to make mistakes. We don't give him that. He's my baby brother. He's all I have left. He's going to be fine, I promise you. Damien pulled me against his chest, and I let him because I was falling apart, and he was the only solid thing in my collapsing world. I've got him. I've got you. You're not alone in this. I wanted to pull away, wanted to maintain distance, keep this professional. Instead, I held on tighter. His phone rang. He answered on the first ring. Talk to me. I couldn't hear the response, but I saw Damien's shoulders relax slightly. Secure location? A pause. Good. Keep him there. Full security detail. No one in or out without my authorization. He hung up, looked down at me. Dylan's safe. My people got him first. The relief was so intense I nearly collapsed. Thank you. Don't thank me. This is my fault. Nero's using you to get to me. His jaw tightened. But here's what he doesn't understand. He just made this personal. Before, I was trying to stop him strategically. Now I'm going to destroy him. I pulled back, looked up at this man who'd manipulated my investigation, married me, and somehow become the only person I could trust. What's our next move? We find Elena's evidence. It's the key to everything. He pulled out a notebook covered in Elena's handwriting. She left clues. Riddles only I would understand. I've been trying to solve them for 3 years. Show me. We spread the notebook across the table. Page after page of Elena's thoughts, drawings, codes. She'd been smart, hiding information in plain sight, making it look like a teenage girl's diary when it was actually a treasure map to evidence that could destroy Nero. I studied the pages, my investigative instincts taking over. This reference here, to a place where the Queen watches over broken soldiers. Does that mean anything to you? Damien went very still. The Queensboro Cemetery. We used to visit our grandmother's grave there when we were kids. Elena called the old headstones broken soldiers because so many were war veterans. That's where she hid it. It's a massive cemetery, thousands of graves, but only one where your grandmother is buried. I flipped through more pages. Look, she mentions Grandma's roses 3 times. That's not random. That's a marker. For the first time since I'd met him, Damien smiled, really smiled. You're brilliant. I'm a journalist. It's literally my job to find hidden information. Still brilliant. He started gathering documents. Nero's estate has the original evidence about his trafficking operation. But if Elena's evidence confirms what I found and adds proof about my father's murder, we have everything we need. Nero's estate, I repeated. You mean we're breaking into his house? Tonight, while he's dealing with cleanup from the attack. Damien pulled out a gun, checked the magazine. His security will be spread thin. It's our best chance. That's insane. Probably. He held out a second weapon. Still want to help? I should have said no. Should have walked away, called Marcus, let the professionals handle this. Instead, I took the gun. Let's go rob your cousin. 3 a.m., rain hammering the windows. Damien and I hunched over his dining table, surrounded by floor plans, security schedules, and enough evidence to put away half the city's elite. We'd been at this for 6 hours. 6 hours of planning, arguing, and something else I didn't want to name. Something that happened when our hands brushed reaching for the same document. When our eyes met over coffee cups and neither of us looked away fast enough. Here. Damien pointed to a weak spot in Nero's security grid. Service entrance. Elena showed me once, back when we all still pretended to be family. Cameras have a blind spot for exactly 45 seconds during their sweep cycle. That's not much time. It's enough. He traced the route through the mansion's blueprints. We get in, reach his study, access the vault. I have his biometric data from our last family dinner, collected DNA from his glass, scanned his fingerprints off a document he signed. I stared at him. You've been planning this for a while. 3 years. His voice was hollow. Every family gathering, every business meeting, I've been stealing pieces of what I need to destroy him, playing the loyal cousin while collecting the tools for his execution. That sounds exhausting. You have no idea. He leaned back, and for the first time I saw real exhaustion in his face, lines around his eyes, tension in his shoulders, the weight of years pretending to be something he hated. Every day I wake up and put on the mask. Every day I make decisions that get people hurt because if I don't, Nero gets suspicious. Do you know what that does to a person? I thought about my own undercover work. 2 years of lies. 2 years of watching criminals operate while I gathered evidence, unable to stop them in the moment. Yeah, I think I do. Our eyes met across the table. Something passed between us. Recognition, understanding. 2 people trapped in impossible situations, doing whatever it took to survive, and maybe save others in the process. Why investigative journalism? Damien asked suddenly. Why not something safer? My parents. The words came out before I could stop them. They died in a house fire when I was 16. Official report said faulty wiring, but the landlord had been cited 6 times for electrical violations and never fixed anything. The inspector who kept approving the building was taking bribes. That's not in any of my files on you. Because I buried it, changed my last name, moved cities, started over. I traced the rim of my coffee cup. But I never forgot the feeling of watching adults lie about how my parents died, watching powerful people cover for each other while families like mine just disappeared. So yeah, investigative journalism. Exposing the truth they try to hide. Elena would have liked you. Damien's voice was soft. She had the same fire, same refusal to look away from ugly truths. Tell me about her, the real her, not the file version. He pulled out his phone, scrolled to a photo album I hadn't seen before. Hundreds of pictures. Elena as a baby, as a kid, as a teenager. Damien was in most of them, always protective, always watching over his little sister. She wanted to be a lawyer, human rights specifically. He stopped on a photo of Elena holding a trophy, grinning at the camera. Won her school's mock trial competition 3 years running. She was going to change the world. I really believe that. What happened the day she died? His hands clenched around the phone. She called me, said she found something and needed to meet, but I was in a meeting with some of Nero's associates. Couldn't leave without making them suspicious, so I told her to wait, to stay safe until I could get to her. His voice cracked. 2 hours later, the police found her body, hanging in her bedroom. Suicide note in her handwriting. But you don't believe it was suicide. The note mentioned things she couldn't have known. Details about family business only Nero's inner circle would know. And Elena... He stopped, struggling. Elena was terrified of heights. Used to have panic attacks on balconies. The idea that she'd hang herself from a ceiling beam? Impossible. But no one investigated. Nero made sure of it. Paid off the right people, produced the right evidence, made me look like the prime suspect if anyone questioned the suicide story. So I played along, grieved publicly while gathering proof privately, became exactly what he expected, the broken older brother consumed by guilt. I reached across the table, covered his hand with mine. We're going to get him, for Elena, for your father, for everyone he's hurt. Damien turned his hand over, laced his fingers through mine. You realize this probably ends with us dead, right? Probably. And you're still in? My parents died because powerful people protected each other. Elena died for the same reason. Yeah, I'm in. I squeezed his hand. Besides, I'm already married to you. Might as well commit to the whole mess. He almost smiled. Then his expression shifted. Something heated and dangerous. About that marriage. Don't. I started to pull my hand away. We agreed it's temporary, strategic. I know what we agreed, but he didn't let go. Doesn't change the fact that every time I look at you, I see someone who chose to stay when they could have run. Someone who's risking everything to help me stop a monster. Someone who... His phone buzzed. He cursed, checking the message. Dylan's asking questions, wants to know why strange men extracted him from campus. Let me talk to him. I took the phone, dialed the secure number Damien's people had set up. Dylan answered on the first ring. Isla? What the hell is going on? These guys won't tell me anything except that you're in danger? I'm fine. I'm safe. But I need you to trust me and stay where you are. You're not fine. You sound terrified. Dylan, is this about that investigation? The one you wouldn't tell me about? His voice rose. Did you piss off the wrong people? Are you in trouble? I looked at Damien. He nodded. Tell him. Yes, I'm in trouble. Bad trouble. But I'm handling it. These people protecting you? They're with me. They're going to keep you safe until this is over. Who are they? Police? FBI? Private security? Not technically a lie. Just stay put. Stay safe. I'll explain everything when I can. Isla, you're scaring me. I know. I'm sorry. But Dylan, I need you to trust me like you did after Mom and Dad died. Remember? When I said I'd take care of you, and you believed me? Silence. Then, I remember. I'm taking care of us now. Same way. Trust me. Okay. His voice was small. But you better survive this. You're the only family I've got. Same here. I love you. Love you too. Don't die. I hung up, handed the phone back to Damien. My hands were shaking again. He's all I have, I whispered. If something happens to him because of me, nothing will happen to him. I swear it. Damien moved around the table, crouched in front of my chair. Isla, look at me. I did. His eyes were dark, intense, completely focused on me. Your brother is protected by the best security team in the city. Location is encrypted, guard rotation is constant, and I've got snipers watching from 3 positions. Nero would need an army to reach him, and by then, we'll have already destroyed Nero. His hands found my knees. You're not alone in this. Not anymore. Why do you keep saying that? Because I spent 3 years being alone, fighting alone, grieving alone. His thumb traced circles on my knee, probably unconscious, definitely distracting. And then you showed up, this stubborn journalist who wouldn't quit digging even when it was dangerous, and suddenly I wasn't alone anymore. Damien, I know this started wrong. I know you didn't choose this, but you're choosing to stay now. You're choosing to fight with me, and that means something. He was too close, too intense, too real. I should have pushed him away, should have maintained professional distance. Instead, I cupped his face. If we survive this, we need to have a serious conversation about boundaries. If we survive this, I'll give you whatever boundaries you want. His voice dropped. But right now, in this moment, can I just... He didn't finish the question. Just leaned in slowly, giving me time to pull away. I didn't. The kiss was soft, careful, nothing like the aggressive possession I'd expected. He kissed me like I was precious, like I might break, like I was choosing him as much as he was choosing me. When we pulled apart, my heart was hammering. That was a bad idea. Terrible idea, he agreed, but he was smiling. We're supposed to be planning a heist. We can multitask. I laughed despite everything, despite the danger and the fear and the fact that I was falling for a man I'd met 3 days ago. You're impossible. You married me. You drugged me. Someone drugged you. I just took advantage of the situation. He stood, pulled me up with him. Come on, Mrs. Volkov. We have a robbery to commit. Don't call me that. It's legally your name? Temporarily. We'll see. He grabbed 2 black jackets from the closet, tossed me one. Ever broken into a heavily secured mansion before? Once. Got arrested. Good thing you've upgraded to a criminal husband who knows the security system. Despite everything, I found myself grinning. Let's go rob your cousin. We loaded weapons, secured communications equipment, memorized the layout one final time. Professional, strategic. But when Damien checked my vest, making sure the straps were tight enough, his hands lingered. When I adjusted his collar, my fingers traced his jawline. We were supposed to be partners in a heist. We were becoming something else, entirely. Ready? He asked. Absolutely not. I checked my gun one last time. Let's do this anyway. Do you think Isla and Damien will survive this heist? If you're rooting for them, subscribe right now and they might be victorious. Rain hammered my face as we screamed through midnight streets on Damien's motorcycle. I clung to his back, feeling every muscle tense as he navigated turns at speeds that should have been illegal. Then again, everything we were about to do was illegal. Nero's estate appeared through the rain, sprawling mansion on 20 acres, surrounded by walls that kept out cameras and curious eyes. From the outside, it looked like old money and respectability. From my research, I knew it was built on suffering. Damien killed the engine 2 blocks away. We approached on foot, dressed in black, faces covered. Every camera location was marked in my head, every guard rotation memorized. We had a 15-minute window between patrol shifts. Service entrance is through here. Damien led me through overgrown hedges to a door mostly hidden by ivy. He checked his watch. Camera sweep in 30 seconds. When I say go, we move fast. My heart hammered. This was different from my usual investigations. This was active crime, breaking and entering. If we got caught, I'd lose everything, my career, my freedom, maybe my life. But if we didn't do this, Nero kept winning, kept trafficking children, kept destroying families. Go. We sprinted to the door. Damien picked the lock in seconds, clearly not his first time. Inside was a service hallway, dim and quiet. The mansion felt empty, but I knew better. Nero had security everywhere. Study is on the 3rd floor. East Wing. Damien moved like a ghost through hallways that smelled like expensive wood and old secrets. Avoid the main stairs, pressure sensors. We took a back staircase, every step careful and measured. My investigative work usually involved documents and interviews. This felt like being inside a thriller I'd written about but never experienced. Second floor, third floor. The study door was exactly where the blueprints indicated. Damien tried the handle. Locked. He pulled out tools, worked the mechanism with practiced ease. Elena and I used to sneak into Father's study when we were kids. Some skills you don't forget. The lock clicked. We slipped inside. Nero's study was exactly what I expected. Leather furniture, expensive art, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, and behind an oil painting of some ancestor. A wall safe. Too obvious, I whispered. That's the decoy. Damien looked at me. How do you know? Because I've investigated enough criminals to know the real vault is never where you'd expect. I scanned the room, thinking like Nero would think. Arrogant, controlling. Someone who believed he was smarter than everyone else. The bookshelf. Classic literature, first editions, organized alphabetically. Except one section wasn't. A gap in the sequence. Between M and P, I pulled books until I found it. A copy of The Prince by Machiavelli, more worn than the others. I opened it, hollowed out, with a keypad inside. That's my girl. Damien moved beside me, pulled out a small scanner. This should override the code. Should. 80% success rate. And the other 20%? Triggers an alarm that brings every guard in the estate down on us. He positioned the scanner. Ready? No. Do it anyway. He activated the device. Numbers flickered on the display. My heart counted every second. 10, 15, 20. Click. The bookshelf swung inward, revealing a hidden room. No alarms, no guards rushing in. 80%, I muttered. You got lucky. I'm always lucky. But his voice was tight with relief. The hidden room was small, lined with filing cabinets and a larger vault built into the back wall. This one had biometric security, retinal scanner, and fingerprint pad. Damien pulled out tools I didn't recognize. This is going to take a minute. Keep watch. I moved to the doorway, listening for footsteps, voices, anything that indicated we'd been detected. The mansion stayed quiet except for rain against windows. Behind me, Damien worked in silence. I heard soft beeps, occasional cursing, the hum of electronic equipment bypassing security systems that cost more than my apartment. Almost there. Footsteps, male voices, coming closer. Damien, I heard, keep working. The voices grew louder. 2 men, maybe 3. I pressed against the wall beside the study door, weapon drawn. Everything in place for tomorrow, one voice said. I recognized it. Cade, Nero's lieutenant. Once the council invalidates the marriage, the inheritance transfers. Then we eliminate Damien and the journalist. Make it look like a murder-suicide. My blood froze. Another voice. Nero himself. Poetic, isn't it? The monster kills his bride, then himself, consumed by guilt. The story writes itself. What about the brother? Cade asked. Kill him too. Loose ends. They were in the hallway, steps away. If they entered the study... Damien's hand found mine in the darkness. He pulled me deeper into the hidden room, behind filing cabinets. We held our breath as the study door opened. Through the gap in the bookshelf, I watched Nero enter. Tall, confident, completely unaware we were 15 feet away. He moved to his desk, poured whiskey, spoke into his phone. Tomorrow the council meets. Katrin's already suspicious of the marriage. I've seeded enough doubt that they'll vote to invalidate. Damien's desperate move fails, and everything comes to me. He paused, listening. Yes, kill them both, and make sure the journalist's death is public. I want everyone to know what happens to people who dig into family business. Rage burned through my fear. This man was casually planning our murders like ordering dinner. Behind me, I heard a soft click. Damien had gotten the vault open. Nero was still talking, still planning, still convinced he'd already won. He poured another drink, completely relaxed in his own space. Damien moved silently into the vault. I watched the study, weapon ready, every muscle tensed. Then Nero stopped talking, tilted his head like he heard something. "Cade," he said slowly, "did you close the painting when we came in?" "What painting?" "The ancestor portrait. It's slightly crooked." Footsteps, moving toward the bookshelf, toward us. Damien emerged from the vault, arms full of files and hard drives. He saw Nero approaching, and his expression went cold. He set the evidence down carefully, drew his weapon. We could run. Try to escape before Nero discovered the hidden room. Or we could end this right now. Nero's hand touched the bookshelf edge. Another second, and he'd notice it wasn't flush with the wall. I made the choice. Stepped out of hiding, weapon aimed at his chest. "Hello, Nero?" He spun, hand reaching for his own gun, but Damien was already behind him, pressing a barrel against his spine. "Don't," Damien said quietly. "Cade, come in here, slowly, hands where I can see them." Cade appeared in the doorway, assessed the situation, kept his hands visible. "Smart man." "You're making a mistake, cousin." Nero's voice was controlled despite the gun in his back. "You think you can rob me in my own house and survive?" "Not robbing. Collecting evidence." I grabbed the files Damien had retrieved. "Evidence of human trafficking, money laundering, murder. Should I keep going?" "That's not yours." "It is now." Damien's voice was ice. "We heard everything, Nero. Your plan for tomorrow. The murder-suicide. You really thought you were untouchable, didn't you?" "I am untouchable. Kill me and the entire family comes for you." "Maybe." Damien pressed the gun harder. "Or maybe they'll thank me for removing the cancer that's been rotting this family from the inside. How many children have you sold, Nero? How many families destroyed? How much blood on your hands?" For the first time, I saw fear flicker across Nero's face. "You can't prove anything. Actually," I pulled a specific file from the stack. "Your own documentation says otherwise. You kept records, meticulous records, names, dates, transactions. You documented your own crimes." "Insurance," he snapped. "Leverage against the people I work with." "Evidence," I corrected, "for the prosecutors who are going to put you away for the rest of your life." Nero laughed. Actually laughed. "You think the justice system will touch me? I own judges, police chiefs, politicians. This city belongs to me." "The city belongs to whoever controls information," Damien said. "And right now, that's us." Alarms exploded through the mansion. We'd been detected. "Go!" Damien shoved me toward the door. "Take the evidence. Get to the motorcycle." "What about you?" "I'm right behind you." He kept his weapon trained on Nero and Cade. "Move, Isla, now." I grabbed the files, the hard drives, everything we'd come for. Ran through the study, down the hallway. Guards were shouting, boots pounding on stairs. Gunfire erupted behind me. I spun. Damien was backing out of the study, returning fire. Cade had drawn his weapon. Nero was screaming orders. More guards poured from stairwells. We were surrounded. Damien grabbed my hand. "Window. 3rd floor is survivable if you roll right." "You're insane." He crashed through a window, pulling me with him. We fell through rain and darkness, hit wet grass hard enough to knock the air from my lungs. He rolled, absorbing impact, somehow keeping me from breaking bones. "Run!" We sprinted across the lawn. Bullets tore up grass behind us. Guards flooded from the mansion. Lights blazed across the grounds. The motorcycle was 50 yards away. Might as well have been miles. Damien returned fire without looking back, giving me cover. A bullet grazed his arm. He didn't even flinch. Just kept shooting. Kept moving. Kept me ahead of him. We reached the bike. He shoved the files into the storage compartment, gunned the engine. I jumped on behind him as guards closed in. The motorcycle roared to life. We peeled away from the estate, bullets chasing us, guards scrambling for vehicles. I wrapped my arms around Damien's waist, felt his heart pounding against my palms, felt blood seeping from his arm where the bullet had grazed him, felt the evidence pressing against my side, proof that could destroy Nero. "Are you scared?" Damien shouts over the engine. I hold him tighter, terrified. "Good. Fear keeps you alive. What about you?" "I stopped being scared 3 years ago." He takes a corner so fast we nearly tip. "But for you? For your brother?" "Yeah, I'm scared." We scream through rain-soaked streets, headlights pursuing us, sirens wailing in the distance. Tomorrow we face the family council. Tomorrow Nero tries to destroy us. But tonight, we're alive. Together. With evidence that can end this. "Damien?" "Yeah? Thank you for protecting Dylan, for—" My voice catches. "For everything." Don't thank me yet. But his free hand covers mine for just a second. "We're not out of this." "I know. And Isla, what I said in the vault about you choosing to stay, I meant it." I rest my forehead against his back. "Whatever happens tomorrow, I'm with you. Even if we die. Especially then." He doesn't answer, just drives faster, racing against dawn and destiny and a family that wants us dead. The penthouse appears ahead. Sanctuary. For now. We made it. Against every odd, we survived. Tomorrow, we burn Nero's world down. Do you think this will be the end of Nero's attempt? Drop your guesses in the comments and remember, we bring amazing stories like this every week for you. Don't miss out on any of them by joining our family of romance lovers right now. 6 a.m. I stare at my reflection in Damien's bathroom mirror. There's a cut above my eyebrow from last night's escape, bruises blooming purple across my ribs, blood under my fingernails that isn't mine. In 6 hours, I walk into a room full of killers and pretend to be a blushing bride. "Let me see." Damien appears behind me, medical kit in hand. His arm is bandaged where the bullet grazed him. He should be resting. Instead, he's taking care of me. "I'm fine. You're bleeding." He tilts my chin up, cleans the cut with gentle hands that have killed men. "This needs stitches." We don't have time. We make time. He works in silence, each touch careful, professional, except his fingers linger on my jaw longer than necessary. "You could have died last night. So could you. That's different." "How?" I meet his eyes in the mirror. "How is your life worth less than mine?" He doesn't answer, just finishes the stitches, applies bandage, steps back. The council meets at noon, 3 hours to prepare. What's the play? We walk in, present our marriage as legitimate. When Nero makes his move to discredit us, he pulls out a tablet. You trigger the release. Every document, every video, every piece of evidence goes live simultaneously across major news outlets. I study the tablet, my entire exposé ready to publish. 2 years of work plus Nero's own documentation. Once this goes out, there's no taking it back. I know. You'll lose everything. The family will never forgive you for exposing them. I lost everything 3 years ago when Nero killed Elena. His voice is hollow. This just makes it official. I turn to face him. What happens after? When Nero's arrested and the syndicate collapses, what happens to you? I disappear. Change my name. Start over somewhere they can't find me. He says it like it's simple, like erasing your entire existence is just another Tuesday. You publish your story, win your Pulitzer, forget you ever met me. Something in my chest cracks. That's the plan? We destroy Nero and then just... what? Never see each other again? That's what you wanted. The annulment. Your life back. I said that 3 days ago, before I knew... I stop. Before I knew you. Before I understood. Before I started falling. Things change. Isla, don't. I press my fingers against his lips. Don't tell me this is just strategy. Don't tell me the last 3 days meant nothing. I know what I feel. And I think you feel it too. He pulls my hand away but holds it. What I feel doesn't matter. You deserve someone who isn't drowning in blood and lies. Someone who can give you a normal life. I'm an investigative journalist who just robbed a mafia estate. Normal was never my future. I move closer. And your hands? I bring them to my lips. These hands saved my brother. Saved me. Saved people you'll never meet, because that's not how saving works. You don't get credit. You just do it anyway. You don't know what I've done. I know enough. I cup his face, force him to look at me. I know you've spent 3 years pretending to be a monster to stop a real one. I know you've made impossible choices that haunt you. I know you're so busy protecting everyone else, you forgot to protect yourself. His eyes close. This can't work. Us. It's impossible. Most good things are. I lean in until our foreheads touch. But we survived last night. We'll survive today. And tomorrow. We figure out tomorrow together. Together. He says it like testing a foreign word. You really want that? With me? Yeah. I smile despite everything. I really do. He kisses me. Soft. Desperate. Like I'm oxygen and he's been drowning for 3 years. When we break apart, his voice is rough. If we survive this, when we survive this, I'm taking you on a real date. Something normal. Dinner, movie, no guns, no heists, no family councils. That sounds boring. That sounds perfect. He pulls back reluctantly. But first, we have wolves to face. The family council chamber is exactly what I expected. Chier seats around a massive table, vaulted ceilings, windows that overlook a city Nero wants to control. Every face turns as we enter. Hostile, suspicious, calculating. Katrin sits at the head of the table, ice personified. Gregor lounges to her left, vodka already in hand despite the early hour. Other family members I recognize from research, associates who've built empires on suffering. And Nero, smiling like he's already won. Damien, Isla. Katrin's voice could freeze oceans. How kind of you to join us. Wouldn't miss it. Damien pulls out a chair for me. The gesture is protective, possessive. Exactly what we need them to see. Katrin calls the meeting to order. We're here to validate the marriage of Damien Volkov and Isla Brennan, as required by Constantine's will. However, concerns have been raised. Significant concerns. Nero stands, playing wounded cousin perfectly. I hate to do this, but I've discovered disturbing information about Esla. He projects documents on the screen. My real credentials. Investigation history. Emails to Marcus about infiltrating the family. Gasps around the table. Gregor slams his fist down. A spy? You married a federal spy? Journalist, I correct. Not federal, there's a difference. The difference being? Katrin's eyes are surgical. I work for truth, not bureaucracy. I stand, meeting her gaze. Yes, I investigated your family. Yes, I documented crimes. But I'm not here to arrest anyone. I'm here because... I look at Damien. Because 3 days ago, I thought I understood this family. Turns out I didn't understand anything. How convenient. Nero's smile sharpens. A journalist falls in love with her target. This isn't romance, it's strategy. A sham marriage to secure inheritance. Is that true, Damien? Katrin leans forward. Is this marriage legitimate or strategic? Every eye locks on Damien. This is the moment. The choice that determines everything. He stands, takes my hand. It started strategic, he admits. Whispers ripple around the table. I needed a wife. She needed a story. But that's not what this is anymore. Then what is it? Katrin demands. Damien looks at me. It's real. She's seen the worst parts of this family and hasn't run. She stood beside me when she could have escaped. She risked her life and her brother's safety to help me stop something terrible from happening. His voice drops, intimate despite the audience. I married her for strategy, but I'd marry her again tomorrow for entirely different reasons. My heart stops. We scripted responses, planned answers. This isn't part of the plan. This is just true. How touching. Nero slow claps. The monster found beauty. But love doesn't erase the fact that she's been investigating us for years, gathering evidence. You mean this evidence? I pull out the tablet. Evidence of human trafficking, political corruption, murder. Evidence your family's empire is built on suffering. I swipe through documents, financial records, shipping manifests. testimony from survivors. But the most interesting evidence, I meet Nero's eyes, is about you specifically, about what you did to Elena Volkov 7 years ago. Nero's mask cracks. Pure rage flashes across his face. Careful, journalist. You're making accusations you can't prove. Actually, Damien stands beside me. We can. Your handwritten notes, autopsy records you altered, security footage you thought was destroyed. He projects Elena's case file. Nero's own documentation of how he staged her murder. The room erupts. Katrin goes white. Gregor roars. Council members reach for weapons. You killed her. Katrin's voice breaks. My daughter, and you let me believe Damien. She can't finish, can't breathe. Nero moves faster than anyone expected, gun drawn, aimed at my head. You've always been too clever, cousin, just like Elena. Look where it got her. Time crystallizes. Damien moves to shield me, but Nero's finger is already on the trigger. The gunshot echoes, but it's not Nero's gun, it's Katrin's. Nero stumbles, clutching his shoulder, shock replacing rage. You killed my daughter. Katrin stands, weapon steady, tears streaming down her face. My baby girl, and you made me believe my son was a murderer for 7 years. Mother, Nero gasps. I am not your mother. Her voice is ice and grief. Not anymore. Doors burst open. Federal agents flood in, triggered by the signal I sent the moment Nero drew his weapon. Nero Volkov, you're under arrest. Chaos, shouting, handcuffs. 3 council members try to run. Agents tackle them. Evidence I've been gathering for years, combined with Nero's own documentation, makes this airtight. No one escapes. In the chaos, Damien pulls me aside. You triggered the release. Had to. He was going to kill us. Your career, this story, it's everywhere now. I check my phone. Notifications exploding. Every major outlet running the exposé. My name trending. Marcus calling repeatedly. I did it. The realization hits. We did it. Yeah. Damien's smile is exhausted. We did. Katrin approaches, weapon lowered, face destroyed by grief and revelation. You were trying to stop him. All these years. You were trying to save us. Damien's voice is hoarse. I was trying to save Elena. I was too late. But you saved others. She touches his face, first gentle touch I've seen from her. You saved me from believing my son was a monster. Nero is dragged away, screaming threats, promises of revenge. But they're empty now. His empire is crumbling. His protection is gone. He's just a man who hurt children and finally got caught. Marcus pushes through the crowd, camera crew behind him. Isla, this is incredible. We need your statement. He stops, sees my hand in Damien's, the way we stand together. You're serious about him. Yeah, I meet his eyes. I really am. Marcus studies Damien. This man who was supposed to be my story became something else entirely. You hurt her? I don't care how many bodyguards you have. Understood. Damien's smile is genuine. For what it's worth, she saved me first. Agents want statements. Media wants interviews. The family council dissolves into accusations and arrests and the death of an empire built on blood. But in the middle of the chaos, Damien and I stand together, alive, victorious. What now? I ask. Now? He pulls me close. Now we figure out how to be normal. We're terrible at normal. Then we'll be terrible together. I laugh. Actually laugh. In a room full of federal agents and collapsing criminal empires, I laugh. Because we survived, because we won, because sometimes the worst beginning really does lead to the best ending. Hey, Damien? Yeah? I think I'm falling in love with you. He kisses me, slow, honest, real, while cameras flash and empires crumble and the city learns the truth. Good, he whispers against my lips, because I fell for you 3 days ago. 6 months later, I stand in the same penthouse where this started, same floor-to-ceiling windows, same city view, but everything else is different. I'm wearing jeans and a coffee-stained shirt. My laptop is open to the Pulitzer Prize nomination announcement. My name is listed under investigative journalism for exposing the Volkov syndicate, for documenting corruption so deep it triggered citywide reform, for telling a story that changed everything. You're staring at that screen like it might disappear. Damien comes up behind me, wraps his arms around my waist. No suit today, just comfortable clothes, normal life. We're still learning how to do normal. It still doesn't feel real. I lean back against him. 6 months ago, I was drugged and accidentally married. Now, I'm nominated for a Pulitzer. You earned it. He kisses my temple. How many death threats today? Only 3. I'm losing my touch. Or Nero's supporters are running out of courage. Nero. Life sentence, no parole. 15 of his associates got similar sentences. The trafficking network is dismantled. The corrupt officials are being prosecuted. And Damien, officially cleared of all charges. His father's real will was found. Proof that Nero poisoned Constantine. Proof that Damien spent 3 years trying to stop him. Your mother called. I turn in his arms. She wants us at Sunday dinner. That's the 3rd week in a row. She's trying. Katrin is complicated. Grieving Elena. Guilt over believing Damien was a murderer. But she's directing that grief into something productive. The Elena Volkov Foundation helps young people escape gang violence, offers education, second chances. Turns out Katrin, without Nero's manipulation, is someone who actually gives a damn. Dylan called too, I add. Wants to know if you're still teaching him self-defense this weekend. Damien groans. Your brother is going to be the death of me. He looks up to you. That's terrifying. It is, but it's also beautiful. Dylan, safe, finishing college, occasionally texting Damien for advice, like having the big brother he never had. Normal. We're building something normal. Oh, and Marcus wants to know if you'll do an interview for his podcast. Something about, I check my phone, redemption and second chances in criminal justice reform. Pass. He said he'd donate $10,000 to Elena's foundation. Damien sighs. Fine. But you're sitting with me. Obviously. I grin. Can't let you face the media alone. You might say something honest. He pulls me closer. Speaking of honest, we need to talk. My stomach tightens. Those words are never good. About what? Us. This marriage. We've been legally bound for 6 months. The case is closed. Nero's arrested. You're safe. He takes a breath. We could annul it now. You'd be free. No more Mrs. Volkov. Just Isla Brennan, award-winning journalist. Is that what you want? I'm asking what you want. His eyes are serious, vulnerable. You never chose this. Not really. You were forced into my world because someone drugged you, and I made a calculated decision. And then you stayed. You fought beside me. You saved my life and your career, and... His voice cracks slightly. And I don't want you to stay out of obligation. If you want out, I'll sign the papers. No questions. No guilt. I study his face. This man who stepped in front of a gun for me. Who protected my brother. Who spent 3 years dismantling his own family's empire because it was the right thing to do. You know what's funny? I cup his face. 6 months ago, I would have signed those papers immediately, would have run back to my old life and pretended this was just a crazy story. And now? Now I wake up every morning next to someone who makes me coffee exactly how I like it, who reads my drafts and gives honest feedback, who built a legitimate business empire helping people instead of hurting them. I kiss him softly. Now I don't want to run. Isla, I have a proposal. I pull back slightly. Let's annul the Vegas marriage. Pain flashes across his face. And then, I continue, let's do it again, properly, with my brother there, your mother, witnesses who aren't criminals or drug journalists. A choice, not a strategy. Understanding dawns. You want to marry me? Again? Willingly? I want to marry you for the first time, because the last one doesn't count if we weren't really ourselves. I smile. What do you say, Damien Volkov? Want to marry me when we're both sober and honest? He doesn't answer with words, just kisses me like I'm his salvation, like I'm choosing him the way he chose me, like we're building something real from the wreckage of something impossible. When we break apart, he's smiling. When? Soon, after the Pulitzer ceremony, after you finish restructuring the foundation, after we've had at least one normal date that doesn't involve federal agents. That's going to be boring. I'll risk it. 3 months later, we stand in a quiet courthouse. Small ceremony. Dylan is my best man. Katrin cries. Actual tears. Marcus attends, grudgingly admitting Damien might not be terrible. The judge asks if I take Damien as my husband. Absolutely. She asks Damien the same question. He looks at me like I'm his entire world. For the rest of my life. We kiss as husband and wife. Real this time. Chosen. Honest. That night, in our penthouse, our home, I open my laptop to find an email from a source. Political corruption in the next city over. Could be huge. Damien reads over my shoulder. You're not seriously considering... I'm an investigative journalist. This is what I do. He sighs dramatically. At least tell me this one doesn't involve infiltrating organized crime. Where would be the fun in that? You're going to give me a heart attack. Lucky you married someone who knows CPR. We laugh together, wrapped in normal life and second chances and the proof that sometimes the worst beginning makes the best ending. Because I woke up 6 months ago in a wedding dress I didn't recognize, married to a man I came to destroy, and somehow, impossibly, found everything I didn't know I needed. My phone buzzes. Marcus. I let it go to voicemail. Right now, I'm exactly where I want to be, with someone who chose me, who I chose back. Mrs. Volkov, Isla Brennan, journalist, wife, woman who survived impossible odds and came out stronger. Hey, Damien? Yeah? I love you. He pulls me close, kisses my forehead. I love you too. Even when you're investigating corruption that might get us killed. Especially then. Outside, the city glitters, full of stories, full of truth waiting to be exposed, full of possibilities. But tonight, we're just us. Two people who found each other in chaos and decided to build something beautiful. Normal is overrated anyway.